Okay, I'm going to begin by cutting off the tabs from the previous two magnets. There's 3 little sections you can just cut through, and then you'll be able to separate the magnet from the guard. Just going to do the same thing on both sides, and I gotta say these magnets are very strong. They stick to everything and they're really easy to lose, so be careful where you put them afterwards. But once you got the magnets out, we're going to take a 21/64 drill bit. That's roughly 330 thousandths, 0.330. And you're going to drill it out so that the top of that magnet just pokes through and it's flush on the other side, while the larger portion of that magnet is going to hold it on this side. It'll actually snap right in there, and you probably could use it like this, but we're going to glue it in there so that it stays. But we got a little bit more work to do before we get to the gluing. On the inside and on the outside, there's all these rough edges. I don't want this to catch on a client's head, so we're going to smooth this whole thing out, as we don't need this extra plastic sticking up anymore. Once I got it smooth on this side, it's going to be more important that we do the work on the inside of it. On the inside of the guard, there's not enough room for the blade to lay flat because the bolts that they chose to put on this clipper stick up a little bit too high, which is why these don't fit very well in the first place. So I'm just going to take my Dremel and I'm going to knock out some of that plastic so that the bolt can sit in there and that guard lays flat on the clipper. And I'm going to do this on an angle because this is about the position of the bolts. You don't have to be too precise with this. We just got to get enough plastic off of it so that the blade can lay flat. Pretty much once you've got that done, we're going to go through, we're going to clean up all the burrs. We're just going to deburr it, get rid of all the sharp edges, and try to clean it up and make it look a little nicer. You could probably do this with sandpaper if you don't have a Dremel, but it'll take you a while. But anyways, I'm checking to see if it's flat, and it lays flat and there's no space anymore, so I'm good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this magnet in. Again, putting the smaller side of the magnets down, the 330 thousandths part. I'm going to push it through to the other side, until it's flush. And once it's flush, I'm going to push it in and I'm going to let it dry. Now I found with some of them, there was still a little bit of movement, so I'm going to add a little spacer. This is just a little piece of aluminum sheet metal, and I actually glued it to that back tab, as you can see. And that was just enough space so that the guard does not move at all. And I did it on all of them. And so that they looked a little bit better, I just decided to spray paint the back and the inside a little bit just to make them look a little better. Alright, I want you guys to check this out. I went to work for a little while, and I think mainly this one will be mostly of interest to you because the number 2 that comes with it, or the single magnetic number 2 for Andis, has a very limited amount of combs, therefore it doesn't pick up much hair. So anyways, I just finished my little project here, and that's not going anywhere. I moved the magnet, I took one out, I put it to the center, and now it's working great. And these all pretty much same thing. I did have to add an extra piece of metal here so that it would really be so solid, and it is. This blade does not move around at all. It locks in really nice and it stays really good. So I actually have an extra magnet from all of them, and I was considering maybe doubling them up to make them a little bit stronger. You could just put them on, because really you don't need anything more than this flat area. So even that's sticking out, that's not been an issue cutting hair with them so far. And another little side note is I also noticed that they fit on the ball magic clips pretty good, because I had to cut the inside to fit that bolt. So they actually fit these pretty good. They don't move around too much, but there is a little bit of play, very, very minimal, and you could actually use these without any issues. If I wanted to reduce that play, I could simply just glue another spacer here and make them specifically for the magic clip. But mainly I was upset with the way the Andis blades were, so it caused me to want to go ahead and go through all this trouble. And I'm glad I did, because I really like them.